Hello friends and welcome to another 3-minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan and today I'm going to tear up this Game Pass games with your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Fable 3. Fable is donezo with you being some nobody whose destiny you forge. Now you're a prince or princess and your douchebag brother the king needs to get the boot. Is Peter Molyneux's Revolution game a bastion of freedom or is it built on a kingdom of lies? Let's find out. Fable 3 is an Xbox 360 game, which means you're going to get minor updates on Series S and X for resolution and auto HDR. The game is about 10 to 13 hours long and that's about it. So what exactly is Fable 3? Well, Fable 3 is an action RPG with a light morality system and a focus on recruiting people or groups of people to help overthrow a king. You may note I didn't say freedom this time around in terms of how the game is played. We will get to that. Fable 3 dramatically mixes up a good amount of the franchise's core elements. Gone is a lot of the freedom and feeling of exploration as you forge your own destiny. Instead, your path is laid out for you. Your king brother is a total dick nobody likes, and you as the royal sibling are going to rally the people to overthrow the king to become the ruler yourself, and then realize being in charge actually kind of sucks. On your road to the crown, you need to recruit followers, and that prestige is now the new form of XP. Gone is the use specific combat type, get that type of XP. Now you get a blanket XP for all combat, as well as doing things like shaking a random stranger's hands in public, or dancing with them randomly, or doing wacky side quests for them, and so on. XP is spent on the road to rule pathway rather than a normal XP menu thing, where abilities are in treasure chests you buy and upgrades are gated by story progression. So much for making my character a bonkers broken early on. Additionally, this game, Peter Molyneux decided menus were so 2008, so instead of having a menu for gear, etc., you now have to warp to an in-world area called Sanctuary, where you can go to different rooms to equip weapons and armor, save the game, and so on. A new mechanic is weapons actually do upgrade and morph based on how you use them, though figuring out how specifically to make that happen eluded me. Once you finally boot your dumb brother off the throne, the game changes dramatically to a decision-making game where you have to decide whether you'll keep your promises to your fellow revolutionaries or do whatever you want. We'll get to this. Basically, Fable 3 takes a skeleton of Fable, removes pretty much everything that made the franchise unique, and makes a totally different game out of it. So what do I like about Fable 3? Well, you can still buy everything everyone owns and rent it out to them at obscene prices, and they even made it easier since you can now buy property directly from the map screen. Peter knows what I want in that regard. This game's side quests are more elaborate than previously, with some genuinely funny bits like having to act out a ghost's terrible play, or dressing up like a chicken to lure more chickens back to their pen. And lastly, I still love the series' aesthetic and sense of humor, even though I feel like it lost a lot of it in this particular entry. When it comes to the bad, oh my goodness, the sense of freedom feels completely stripped away, with both quests and side quests railroading you to where you need to go next in every situation. This is especially exacerbated with the stripped down skill tree. Combat is stupidly, comedically unbalanced. If you just hold the magic button down the entire game, you will win. It is honestly unbelievable to me. This was bad before, but now it's so easy it's downright tedious. And lastly, the final half of the game, where you rule, is so terribly designed it feels like a joke. The moral choice doesn't even work here since the Lovecraftian monster is about to destroy everything, and if you keep your promises to people, it makes it harder to defeat it. Isn't saving the world slightly more important than opening an orphanage this very second? Though apparently you can just also buy your way to the best ending, which is equally stupid. As you know, right, games on a 3-point scale, must play, maybe considered, don't bother. Yeah, don't bother. Fable 3 is a massive misstep. It killed the franchise, and I can definitely see why. It's as if Lionhead Studios made all these games without figuring out what people liked about the game series. I genuinely hope that whatever the Forza guys are making in the upcoming Fable reboot, none of it shares any DNA with this awful game. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and go out there and avoid Fable 3.